Welcome back to Have More Babies. Now that title suggests growth, maybe more kids, but let's be real, when a new baby arrives, or even with your first, their health, that jumps right to the top of the priority list. And that means, pretty quickly you're facing a really big decision. Choosing your child's doctor, their pediatrician. There are so many options out there, it can feel, well, overwhelming. So our mission today is pretty straightforward. We want to give you a clear path, sort of a shortcut through all that noise. We're aiming to equip you with the key things you need to look for to find a pediatrician who's trustworthy, competent, and maybe most importantly, a good fit for your family's approach. Okay, let's unpack this.
Yeah, and what's really interesting, I think, is that finding the right pediatrician is this mix, right? It's partly about checking credentials, the professional side, but it's also deeply personal. It's about trust.
That's a great way to put it, a mix of professional and personal trust. So let's kick things off with that trust piece. Often that starts with just asking around.
Exactly. Tip number one is ask for referrals. Talk to people you already trust, your friends, your family, maybe coworkers with kids around the same age. They can give you the real scoop on things like, how easy it is to get an appointment or what the doctor's bedside manner is actually like. But don't stop there. Also, definitely ask your obstetrician or your own family doctor. They know the local medical scene and who's really well regarded professionally. Word of mouth is powerful here.
Okay, so that helps build a list based on personal experiences and trust. But then how do we get to that professional certainty? Making sure they really know their stuff. Credentials.
Right. Then you pivot straight into verifying their professional background. This means looking at their medical school, where they did their residency training, how many years they've actually been practicing pediatrics. This is their knowledge base.
Is there, a benchmark? A kind of gold standard we should be looking for that signals they've met the highest requirements?
Yes, absolutely. You want to verify that they are certified by the American Board of Pediatrics. That certification means they've passed a really tough exam and they meet the highest standards in the field. It also shows they're committed to keeping their knowledge up to date.
Okay, board certification. Got it. And what if your child has a specific health issue right from the start, like maybe a heart condition and something complex?
Good question. In that case, you're looking beyond general pediatrics. You need to check for subspecialty credentials. So if there's a known heart issue, you'd look for a pediatric cardiologist. If there are developmental concerns, maybe a developmental pediatrician. You need that specialized training from day one.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Now, the unavoidable part. We've checked the boards, we have names. Everyone's going to Google them, right?
Right.
We all look at online reviews on sites like HealthGrades or Yelp or ZocDoc. How do we weigh those against the official stuff?
It's tricky, isn't it? Those sites can offer some insights, maybe about wait times or how friendly the front desk is. But, and this is a big but, you have to take them with a huge grain of salt. A few bad reviews shouldn't automatically disqualify a doctor with great credentials. Online reviews are often, well, not the full picture. Look for consistent patterns, maybe. But don't let one or two negative comments sway you too much. They're just one piece of the puzzle.
Okay, good advice. Use caution. So we've got a pool of qualified candidates. Now here's where it gets really practical, right? The day-to-day logistics. Will this actually work for a busy family? Because the best doctor isn't helpful if you can never see them.
Precisely. You absolutely have to check their availability. Do their regular clinic hours work with your schedule? Critically, what about after hours, weekends, emergencies happen?
Yeah, kids don't get sick on a schedule. And what about just calling with a question, like not an emergency, but something you're worried about?
Oh.
What's their policy for handling those calls or messages?
Yeah.
Knowing you can get a reasonably quick response is huge for peace of mind.
Definitely. And tied right into that is the location. Tip number 5, consider the location. It sounds basic, but convenience is key. Think about it. Middle of the night, sick kid. Do you want a 45-minute drive? Probably not. Closer to home or work just makes everything easier, from routine checkups to those unexpected urgent visits. Especially if you're near busier areas like, say, Roswell or Alpharetta, traffic matters.
Totally. And the location isn't just the address, it's the actual office environment too, right? What should we look for when we visit?
Yes, evaluate the whole setup. Is the office clean? Does it seem organized? What's the vibe from the staff? Are they welcoming, efficient? Remember, the staff are often your first point of contact. And here's a really specific but important thing to ask. Do they have a separate waiting area for sick kids versus well kids?
Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah, it shows they're thinking proactively about minimizing the spread of infections like flu or RSV, especially protecting newborns coming in for checkups. If they don't have separate rooms, ask what their process is for keeping sick kids isolated. It tells you a lot about their approach to preventive health.
Okay, this is all super practical. But credentials and convenience aren't everything. How do you make sure this doctor is actually going to be a partner? Someone who, you know, gets your family and your approach. This feels like it's about communication and philosophy.
Exactly. This is the fit part. And honestly, long term, it might be the most important. When you first meet them, really pay attention to their communication style. Are they making eye contact? Are they actually listening to your questions or just waiting to talk?
Yeah, do they explain things in a way you understand, or is it all medical jargon?
Right. Do you feel heard? A good pediatrician needs to see the parent as part of the team. They should acknowledge your concerns, value your insights about your child, and work with you on a care plan. It needs to be a collaboration.
Okay, and the philosophy of care part, that sounds a bit abstract. Could you give an example?
Sure, it's about their overall approach. For example, are they more inclined towards a holistic view looking first at diet, lifestyle, environment? Or are they more focused on traditional medical interventions like medications? So maybe for something like sleep issues, one doctor might first dive deep into routines, nutrition, maybe suggest counseling. Another might move more quickly to considering medication or specialist referrals if basic changes don't work fast. Neither is necessarily wrong, but one might align better with your philosophy.
And I imagine this comes up big time with things like vaccines, right?
Absolutely critical. You need to have an open conversation about their stance on vaccinations and the recommended schedule. Does it align with your family's values and comfort level? Getting this clear upfront avoids potential conflict and builds trust right away.
Okay, that makes total sense. And then there's the child themselves and just that gut feeling. Tip 9 talks about the child's personality.
Yeah. If your child is really shy or tends to get anxious at the doctors, you'll want someone known for being extra gentle and patient. The child's comfort impacts the quality of the visit. And if your child has any known health conditions or special needs, you need to know the pediatrician has experience with similar cases.
And then tip 11, which feels simple but maybe profound. Trust your gut.
Don't underestimate this. After all the research, how do you feel when talking to this person? Do you feel comfortable, respected? If you have a good feeling, chances are much higher you'll build a strong, lasting relationship. That intuition is a really valuable filter.
Okay, so we've done the legwork, found someone qualified, convenient, good communicator, shares our philosophy, feels right. So what? Why does going through all this trouble matter so much for our child's health in the long run?
It matters because you get two huge benefits: specialized care and continuity.
Tell me more about the specialized care.
Well, pediatricians aren't just general doctors for small people. They have years of extra training focused only on childhood illnesses, growth, development, behavioral issues, the whole spectrum, from birth through adolescence. They know how to examine kids, how to talk to them, how to spot problems unique to children. It's truly personalized care based on a child's specific stage and history.
And they handle all the preventive stuff too, right? Like tracking milestones, immunizations.
Exactly. That proactive preventative care is huge. It's not just about treating sickness, it's about promoting wellness, catching things early, and giving parents peace of mind that their child is on the right track.
Okay, and the second big benefit you mentioned was continuity of care. What does that really mean?
Continuity means having the same trusted healthcare provider guiding your child's health over years, ideally from infancy right through their teenage years and even into early adulthood.
Why is sticking with one person so important?
Because that doctor builds an incredibly deep understanding of your child's entire health history. They see the patterns, they notice subtle changes over time. They might catch an underlying issue much earlier than a doctor seeing the child for the first time.
Ah, okay.
It also builds immense trust between the doctor and the child and the doctor and the parents. That relationship becomes vital, especially navigating the health challenges and questions that come up during adolescence.
And apparently there's even a financial angle. The source material mentioned continuity can actually save money.
Yeah, it's an interesting point. Because that consistent proactive care helps manage chronic conditions better and catches problems early, it can actually lead to fewer emergency room visits, fewer hospital stays, and overall lower healthcare costs in the long run. Good preventive care pays off.
Wow, okay. And vaccines, the pediatrician is key there too.
Yeah, absolutely essential. They're your expert guide for the recommended vaccine schedule. They ensure vaccines are given safely, right timing, right dose. They answer your specific questions, monitor for any reactions, and just help you navigate what can feel like a complex process.
And honestly, just having someone send reminders and help keep track of that schedule when you're juggling everything else, that alone is worth a lot.
It really is. So the bottom line here is that finding the right pediatrician isn't just about finding a doctor. It's about finding an expert ally who understands your child's unique needs, aligns with your family's approach, and is ready to partner with you for the long haul.
It's clearly a big decision. Take some homework, checking credentials, thinking logistics, gauging that philosophical fit. But doing that work up front really sets you up for success. The best pediatrician is the one that's right for your family. And here's something to really think about as we wrap up. That relationship you build now, it could become absolutely essential if your child ever develops a chronic health issue later on. Having that trusted partner, that continuity, is invaluable when things get tough. So if you're looking for that kind of comprehensive, personalized pediatric care, maybe you also need things like lactation support or nutritional advice or clear info on procedures like the newborn circumcision request form. A great place to start looking and get more details is omegapediatrics.com.
Yes, we really focus on providing that high standard of specialized care through every single stage of childhood. Definitely visit omegapediatrics.com to see how we approach partnering with families on their child's health journey.
And hey, if this conversation was helpful, if it maybe made this big decision feel a little less daunting, could you do us a quick favor? Please like this video, subscribe so you don't miss future discussions, and maybe share this with any other parents you know who are navigating this choice right now. Thanks so much for tuning in today.
Yes.